Hello and welcome to the next session of the Python tutorial. So far we have learned so many things and in the previous tutorial I have discussed the logic part. So in this tutorial I'll discuss a very important concept that is mutable and immutable. So this concept is very important in terms of data handling, the object handling. So look at the video, the tutorial very attentively, because if you understand that what is the meaning of the mutable object and immutable object, then you will understand to write so many code, so many things that will not create any problem. So before going to that part, just understand that what is the meaning of mutable and immutable object. So as we know that in Python, everything is object. We have already discussed in the previous tutorial. So every variable in Python holds an instance of an object. We already know about it. Python has the categories of the objects. So the categories mean the types. So there are two types of the objects in Python. One is called the mutable type and second one is called the immutable type of the object. So when you create any object, so that object is by default a type of mutable or immutable according to the data type. Since everything in Python is an object, every variable holds an object instance. When an object is initiated means when you create and when you write the logic um, um, to initialize the variable, it is assigned a unique object ID. We know that, and if you want to get that ID, then you can use the ID function. And in the ID function lecture, I have already discussed about it that when I will discuss the mutable and immutable object, then ID function I will use. So now I will use the ID function to demonstrate, to show you that what is the meaning of mutable and immutable object. So first understand that when an object is initiated, it is assigned a unique object ID. We know that. Its type is defined at runtime. When we write a code, for example, if I come to this ID and if I write a is equal 20, so at runtime it will be decide that what will be the type of a. Okay, so according to the value, as we can see here, that is the value is 20, it is the type of integer, so a will be type of int. So look at the point. Its type is defined at runtime and once set can never change. We know that. Okay. And however, its state can be changed if it is mutable. Just remember this one. The state means the values inside that object can be changed if that object is a type of mutable type. Okay. Uh, let's see what is mutable and immutable object. So immutable object built-in type. We'll see first. Object of built-in types like int, float, bool, str, tuple, Unicode are the immutable type. What is the meaning of immutability? In simple word, an immutable object cannot be changed after it is created. So if you create any object and if that object is a type of immutable, then you cannot change it. The simple meaning of it, of this statement. If you perform any operation, let me add one more statement, and if you want to note down, then you can note in your notebook. That is, if you have any immutable object and if you perform any operation on that object, so as we know that immutable object cannot be changed. So after the operation, every operation will create a new object. It will not make changes into the immutable type of the object. What is the mean by of this statement? Look at the example. For example, a is equal 20 and this is a type of int, so it is a type of immutable. So if I write a small piece of code to make a changes of this, so I can write a is equal a plus 1. Okay, so we can make the changes. Yes, simple. The syntax is very simple. Now let's see with the help of this ID of a before operation. Okay, so before operation we'll see that what is the ID of a. So we can get the ID of a by using ID function. So we can concat with this statement ID of a. And now we have performed one operation that increment that value by 1. So let's see that the ID will remain same after this operation, or is it change? So ID of A after operation. Let's see. Okay. Now look at the. So ID of A, that you can see here, a random number. We know that a random number will be generated. That is the memory address. So this is the memory address, as you can see, 1466 755 296. So before the operation, the ID of A is 1466, and after operation, it gets changed. It means if we perform any operation on immutable object, okay, so it will create a new object. It will not make changes into the existing object. Okay, so this is the meaning of immutability. So if you have any immutable type of the object, then we cannot make changes into it. Just remember this point. And to understand it, I can write one more thing. For example, if I create this, okay, so as we know that these values that after the equal symbol are the objects. So let's see that what is the ID of A and what is the ID of B. So ID of A and ID of A and B before the operation. So comma ID of B. Okay, and after that I write ID of. So let's see. So as you can see, ID of A and B are remain same. Just look at here. Before the operation, that is 1466 755 296 and 1466 755 296. So as we know that the A and B are pointing to the same memory address, and if these objects are not in the nature of the immutable, then what will happen if you make changes into one object, then it will reflect into the another. It means if I print the value of A, look at here. If I print the value of A after operation, I print value of A, comma A. So let's see. The value of A is now become 21, but now it is pointing to the new address. Just look at here, this address. Okay, it is not pointing to the same address, the previous address. It means B is still pointing to the previous address. It will not make changes into that point, that address. So that's why these objects are immutable. So in a simple word, if I say that immutable objects means we cannot make changes after creation of that object. If we trying to do so, though, then it will create a new object. And if that object is created, means a new object is created, obvious, a new address will be assigned. And we can see here in the case of this statement. Now another object is created after this operation and new address is assigned to A. Okay, so this is the meaning of immutability. So which type of the, what are the data types, means we have learned that which are under the category of immutable. So int, float, bool, str, string, tuple, we will learn further in the next tutorial. And Unicodes are immutable. If you create these type of the object, you cannot make changes into it. If you try to do so, then you will get error. Mutable objects. So list, dictionary, set, byte array are the mutable objects. So meaning of mutable objects means if we perform any operation, then that operation will make changes into the existing object. Okay, it will not create any new object. So look at here. So if I create any list, that is, if I create an empty list, I will discuss in a detail in the further tutorial that what is the list and what are the operations that we can perform. So if I create a my list empty, so let's see what is the ID of this list. So ID of this list is, so it will print the ID. Now make changes into it. So if I add, there is a method in list that is called the append. If you don't know, so don't worry, I'll discuss about it in the list, but I'm just try to make changes into the existing list. And just look at here, after making the change, I'm not assigning to the variable, I'm just updating, I'm just applying the operation on the existing object. So mylist dot append, if I write 12, okay. So let me print first value in list. So let's see what are the values available in my list, and what is the ID of this. After operation, I'll do the same printing statement. I'll use the same. Look at the output. As you can see, value in list is empty and the address is 49270344. Okay. Now after operation, now you can see here that the list is containing a value that is 12, but the address is remaining same. It is not creating a new object. So this is the nature of the mutable object. If you have any mutable object, then if you try to make changes into it, then it will be happen in the same object. It will not create any intermediate object. So this concept is very important in terms of the function, because when we will learn function, in a function we can pass the objects, we can pass the values, pass the variables. So which type of the variables can be changed into the function, and which type of the variable cannot be changed, cannot be reflect into the variable. This will depend upon the mutable and immutable type of the object. Okay, so just understand that the meaning of mutable and immutable. So one more time, I'll just summarize it. Immutable objects means any object in which if we can after creation of that object we cannot make changes. Okay, so that object is called immutable object. And if we try to make changes, then it will create a new object, and every operation will create a new object, and then we have to get into new variable, a new address. Mutable object means any object in which we can make the changes after creation. Okay, so if you create any object like list, dictionary set, then you can make changes into it. It will not create any intermediate object. It will not create any new object. It will change. It will make changes into itself. Okay, so I hope the immutable and mutable concepts are clear. Still, if you have doubt, then you can put your queries into comment box, or you can write me on my mail address that is given already in description. I'll give you the answer accordingly. Okay, so I hope the concepts are clear now. So thank you for watching this video. That's all for this tutorial. Please like, comment, and share the video with your friends. If you like the video and if you subscribe my channel, then it will make me more confident to make a new videos. Okay, so please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.